Now let's add navigation. So let me put a bit of a comment here. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to create top navigation menu bar so that we can easily navigate between pages. So we're going to write here first, all inside this app component, and we're going to move it to a separate component very soon. So let me write that here. So let me put it in a function. So const top nav equals to, let's write a function, and you have two options. One, you can use curly brace and use return keyword and just write your code here, or if it is just one element, one block of code, then you can avoid writing curly brace and return. Okay, so with arrow function you don't need to write return keyword if you have just one block of code. So now we're going to put everything inside a div. Okay, so one div will contain all the navigation links, so we can just use parentheses. So with parentheses you don't need to write return or curly brace, anything like that. All right, so let's do it. Div, let me give this a class name of nav background light, so you can use this class name. Display flex and justify content between. Justify content between. This way we will get nicely spaced out. Based on the flexbox, we will get nicely spaced out navigation link, which is very simple and it's pretty cool. So we use that, and here we use a link component. So previously we installed React Router DOM. We can import link component from that, from React Router DOM. So we can use link. Obviously in HTML you would write anchor tag, but with React you use link because you don't want to reload the page each time. So we use link. So class name nav link, that's a bootstrap class name, and with link you use to. In regular HTML anchor tag you use href, but with React Router link you use to. So to, let's use / and this link will take users to home page. So let me copy this and paste twice. Next one's for login. So when they click here, we will take them to login page. Next one, register, and this one we call it register. Okay, so we have got this navigation, simple navigation. Now this navigation is in this function, so to get this navigation we need to execute this function. So we can do that here. Let's do that right below browser router, curly brace, put that function here and execute that function. Okay, so let's have a look. Import React Router DOM does not contain. Okay, it does not contain. Okay, so what happened is this is not a default export. So if anything that is default export you can import like this, but if it is not default export then you have to destructure. Okay, so for example from one file they might have so many of these functions or components that has been exported, so in that case we have to destructure. Okay, so make sure you destructure and give it a try. Okay, now you can see we have beautifully spaced out flex navigation. So we have home, you can click on home, you can click on login, register. There is no page reload because we're using React Router link component. Perfect. Let's make sure we put this code, move this to a separate function. It's always a good practice to have small components, and you can combine those small components to build a bigger app. So let's move this. So here let's create a folder inside source. Let's call that components. Inside components, let's create this file. We can call it topnav.js, and let's go back to app. Basically this is what we want. So let's cut, and let's remove link as well. We don't need that here. Let's go to top nav and let's import destructure link from React router DOM, and let's write our function const top nav, and we can put everything here, so no need return. We can just use curly brace, and let me paste that code here. Okay, so let me just grab this bit and put here, and we can just remove everything else. Perfect. So this component is basically returning links, nothing special. Now let's export default top nav. Once we export, we can import in app.js. So previously we removed the code block here. Now we can import that and use import top nav from. So we need to go one step inside bookings here, top nav. Okay, now previously we were executing the function, but now we're going to use this component. So let's get rid of that and instead show this component. Okay, now everything should work as it was working before, no problem. Home, login, register.